Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. With me, my good friend and special guest, Russ Cook, with Russ Cook and Associates over in Brentwood, Tennessee. Russ is a board-certified estate planning attorney. We've been talking about mistakes on probate. And one of the things, if you would like to get a review of your plan, or if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a will or a trust, or maybe it's something, the planning was done 10, 12, 15, 20 years ago or something, and you're thinking, I really need to get this done, well, we're going to make it easy for you. All right, if you call my office. Now, if you've got an attorney, if you've got people that you work with, I would encourage you to go see them. If you don't, come see us. 615-376-5325. And what we'll do is I'm going to do up a comprehensive financial plan for you, but in addition, or as a part of that, I should say, is of course the estate planning piece. When we talk about getting your estate in order, estate planning is one of those areas that we want to cover as we get the foundation down on your financial world, and we're able to show you what your financial future looks like based on the things you're doing today, and then share strategies on how you can improve that. So if you think that through, that one of the things we're going to be able to show you is not just where you're at today, what your estate value is today, but what it's going to be 10, 15, 20 years or more down the road. And that can be very important in terms of figuring in to your estate planning and what you want to do there. So for the first, I'm not even going to limit it to 615-376-5325. If you'd like some help with that, give us a call. Tessa's standing by. She'll get your information. She'll send you out a checklist of things to bring to your appointment with me. And we can arrange for a meeting with Russ as well to review your estate planning documents. So you can take a look if again, if they're older documents or maybe even something you've done just in the last 3 to 5 years, but you're not sure, is this going to do what you want it to do, and make sure that you've avoided certain pitfalls. We can help you with that as well. All right, and it's a good time to get that. Typically it's so easy to procrastinate here and to put off these things, and unfortunately sometimes we wait too long. Right, life happens, and sometimes it can be problematic. The sooner you do your planning, the more options you typically are going to have, and the better that plan's going to be. So again, if you'd like to get not only the comprehensive financial plan, which I normally do, but also as a part of that, the estate planning piece, of course, and an opportunity to meet with Russ and have him go over your estate plan and talk to you about ways that you can, one, make sure it's going to do what you want it to do, and maybe tweak it or get it set up in such a way that it will give you the best plan possible. So again, 615-376-5325. When you come in to see me, I'll give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom and Retirement. And guess what step number 7 is? It's estate planning. All right, it's going to get into the 5 essential documents that form the foundation of a good estate plan. And this is part of what we're talking about. So let's look at what is estate planning. We've been talking about this a little bit, right? So now you're using an attorney to help you prepare for your future. Okay, this is the process is when we do planning with clients. We can go ahead and get rid of that screenshot. We're going to do that one. It's got what is estate planning, and we'll get that up there so we can walk through allowing you to choose upon who is going to control your estate upon your death, making sure your assets are distributed the way you want, possibly, and this is a good one, right? Possibly minimizing or even eliminating taxes can be a part of a good estate plan as well, and avoiding probate. It's a private document. This is an area, Russ, you get into the tax part. In particular, we've just, in working with, I'm trying to get away from not want to jump too far ahead as far as advanced stuff goes, but you can get into some good tax planning just even in the basic plans.
Yeah, you can. Actually, a lot of folks, at least the ones that were paying, probably had accumulated wealth. They got a tax benefit recently where the law changed. Tennessee got rid of their inheritance tax.
We'll jump that one.
And the federal government was able to increase the exemption up from what was around 5 or 6 million per person,
right,
to around 11.4 per person, 22.8 per couple. So they kind of took what was a big problem that we were usually planning around, that is the estate tax problem, and moved it off to the side, so it's not really a big part of estate planning. However, Now at the forefront is what's called cost basis planning. That's where if you pass away and pass an asset down to someone, they get that asset from a cost basis standpoint at the same value that you had when you passed. So just to kind of give you an idea of how that works, if you buy a stock for 10 bucks, if you sold it for 20, you pay capital gains tax on the $10 difference. If you buy stock for 10 bucks and you die and a beneficiary inherits it and it's worth 20 and they sell it, they do not pay capital gains tax on the difference. And so that's been a big boon that we've been trying to take advantage of. Now, between a husband and wife, the problem we were running into is that they own assets jointly. So if husband and wife buy the stock and then one of them dies, the only part that would get a step up in basis is the decedent's half. So if the survivors sold the stock, they'd have to pay the capital gains on their share. Well, now we have something called a community property trust. It's basically a joint revocable trust in which husband and wife create with themselves as trustee and beneficiaries, just like you would any other revocable trust. However, if they put this stock into the trust, and let's say husband dies first, not only do you get a step up in cost basis on the husband's half, because they're each deemed to own half the assets in the trust, you also get a step up on the wife's half. And so from a tax planning standpoint, as far as couples go, this is something that can benefit anyone that has capital gain assets. And that could be just a managed portfolio with $50,000 in it.
Right.
Really.
And the benefits of that, I mean, real estate, same thing applies, by the way. If you have investment property, that step up in basis on a stock portfolio, stock mutual funds, all of this would apply. And we see sometimes very significant cost basis difference there, or capital gains, if you will, within these kind of portfolios. And that's a significant advantage to be able to get that step up in basis. And sometimes you may hold stocks, a lot of times you may inherit from a parent. You get that step up in basis when you inherit. You may hold those stocks for 10, 15, 20 years or more, and then leave them to your children. At some point, you know, you may have this you want to be selling them. And there's some other areas that we get into when it comes to cost basis planning. So one is with what Russ was talking about here with a community property trust, how that can help a couple. All right, and we get into it with your estate planning when you're thinking of what's going to go to your children. And then there's some planning we get into. I've talked about net unrealized appreciation in a portfolio. This is if you've got company stock in a 401k, you're getting to retirement. This is another area where we're looking to reduce your taxes. For instance, in this situation, taxes that are, or excuse me, when you start taking income from your 401k, if you've got company stock and you sell that stock within the 401k as you're taking money out, right, you're going to pay ordinary income tax rates, which are always going to be higher than capital gains tax rates. So if you can get, just like what Russ talking about, if you can get a step up in basis, you can even eliminate the capital gains rates. So what we're looking on the one end, if I can sell assets at a capital gains rate, that's going to be lower, so there's a benefit. But if I can then turn around and when I leave it, I can get a step up in basis and eliminate it altogether. And sometimes, by the way, even when someone's living, we'll do planning where we'll do that. Where, in other words, if we can keep you down in a 12% bracket right now, for instance, there's a way to sell off stocks and appreciated assets. This is where that net unrealized appreciation can come into play and pay zero tax as well. So there's a lot of different planning features that go into both your retirement planning and tie into the estate planning. And this is why it's so important, Russ, in working close together, is to make sure that we're on the same page, that we're not going to create a situation that I'm not going to mess up the plan, so to speak, by doing something that would be detrimental to the family. Because with estate planning, you're not just looking, you're looking, of course, at the present and how to protect you and how to take care of things now, but also when you're gone, what's going to happen there. So the goal is a little more, right, we're looking further out. So when we get into tax planning and when we get into asset protection, it's things that we can implement during your lifetime and also for your family after you're gone. And so it's a much longer view in the planning process. It's not just something we're concerned about just the next 3 to 5 to 10 years, but we're looking at potentially generations. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit more and some planning strategies that you can implement, but first we're going to take a break. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.